108 Ocean Avenue, Amityville, New York. It's a quiet, unassuming suburban street, the kind you'd find anywhere in America. But this one hides one of the nation's darkest and most enduring secrets. Because it was here, in the early morning hours of November 13, 1974, that Ronald DeFeo Jr. took a rifle and systematically murdered his parents and 4 younger siblings as they slept peacefully in their beds. In just a few horrific moments, 6 lives were brutally ended, and something truly unspeakable began to stir within those walls. The house at 108 Ocean Avenue was about to become infamous. Just over a year later, the Lutz family, George, Kathleen, and their 3 children, saw the house as a dream come true. A beautiful, spacious Dutch colonial at a price they couldn't believe. It was a chance for a new start, a new home, a new life. They moved in, full of hope and excitement, completely unaware of the darkness that had soaked into the very foundation of the house. The terror didn't wait long to introduce itself. Within days, their dream turned into an unrelenting nightmare. Doors would slam shut with violent force, even with no wind. Heavy furniture was found rearranged in the morning, having shifted overnight on its own. The atmosphere in the house grew heavy, oppressive, and cold. Kathleen Lutz began having vivid, terrifying nightmares. She later said she would wake to find a shadowy figure standing at the foot of her bed, its eyes glowing with a malevolent red light. Then came the physical manifestations. Foul, viscous green slime started oozing down the interior walls, and an unbearable, sickly sweet smell, like rotting flesh, would drift through the rooms without any source. And then there was the time. Every single night, like clockwork, at exactly 3:15 a.m., the precise time the investigators believed the DeFeo murders had taken place, the entire house seemed to wake up, alive with a malevolent energy that terrified the family to their core. As the Lutz family's ordeal became public, the whispers started. Neighbors began sharing their own strange experiences. Some spoke of hearing eerie, disembodied sounds echoing from inside the house, even when they knew it was empty. Others claimed to have seen pale, distorted faces pressed against the upstairs windows, staring out into the night. One of the most chilling accounts was the sound of children laughing and playing, a ghostly echo of the lives that had been stolen there. The house was no longer just a local tragedy. It was becoming a legend. Soon, paranormal investigators were drawn to the story, most famously Ed and Lorraine Warren. After spending time in the house, they declared it was possessed by a powerful demonic force, a conclusion that only fueled the growing hysteria. Of course, there were skeptics who insisted the entire story was an elaborate hoax, a cash grab cooked up by the Lutz family. But their skepticism was often challenged by what happened next. As the house's fame grew, visitors and journalists flocked to Ocean Avenue. Some reported fainting the moment they stepped onto the property, overwhelmed by an unseen presence. The story of Amityville had taken on a life of its own. The deeper the story went, the darker the myths became. Rumors spread like wildfire. One popular theory was that the house stood on cursed land, an ancient burial ground that had been disturbed. People whispered that an invisible hand would tug on your clothes, pulling you toward the staircase where the murders had occurred. They said anyone who dared to spend a full night in the house would wake up with deep, painful scratches across their back, as if clawed by something unseen in their sleep. Investigators who left cameras running in the basement claimed to have captured faint, whispering voices on the recordings, chanting strange, guttural words in a language no one could translate. Even casual encounters with the house seemed to be tainted by its dark energy. There's a story of a teenager who parked his car across the street on a dare, only to watch in horror as the curtains in an upstairs window moved on their own, pulled aside by an invisible hand. A delivery driver reportedly quit his job on the spot after dropping off a package. He heard a small child's voice whisper right behind him, "Don't go upstairs." Years later, even after the house was renovated and sold, construction workers complained of their tools inexplicably vanishing, only to reappear in different rooms. Lights would flicker on and off in a deliberate, chilling pattern. 3 flashes, a pause, 3 more flashes, another pause, and 3 more. 6, 6, 6. The house was communicating its evil. Now I want you to imagine it. Imagine you're standing inside that house alone. The silence is deafening, the air thick and heavy. You glance at the clock on the wall. The time is 3:14 a.m. The seconds tick by, each one louder than the last. Then it hits. 3:15. You hear it, faint at first, then clearer. Footsteps coming from the upstairs hall. But you know you're alone. A cold whisper brushes against your ear, calling your name from just behind the wall. The air turns to ice, stealing the breath from your lungs. Panic sets in. You turn and run for the front door, your heart pounding in your chest. But it slams shut with a deafening bang right before you can touch it. Do you believe in curses? Do you believe a place can hold on to the pain and violence of the past? Because in Amityville, belief might be the only thing that separates the curious from the consumed. It might be the only thing keeping you alive. Today, the house at 108 Ocean Avenue still stands. It has a different coat of paint, a new address to deter sightseers and new owners who value their privacy. But the same shadows stretch across its lawn. The real horror of Amityville isn't just what happened there all those years ago. It's the terrifying possibility that something still waits behind those walls, patient and hungry. So next time you find yourself on a quiet suburban street late at night, and you see a house with dark windows that look like eyes, maybe keep your own windows closed. You might just hear the whisper that never left. I'm still here. If this story sent chills down your spine, don't look away just yet. There are countless tales still lurking in the dark, waiting to be told. Subscribe to Tales of the Dark, where every story is a step deeper into the unknown. Tales of the Dark.